For those who hesitate to accept the personal devotion, who find it difficult to devote personally, they always hesitate to develop the recollection of the Buddha. So to help them, in order to help them to realize the qualities of the Buddha, so Sayadaw made his effort to make you understand, to appreciate the qualities of the Buddha. So the teaching of the Buddha itself enables us to keep our mind tranquil and peaceful. Just listening to Dhamma talk, just learning the Buddha's teaching, we can become tranquil and peaceful. We can keep our minds away from mental defilements or mental hindrances. So in this way, just by listening or learning the Buddha's teaching, we can keep our mind tranquil and peaceful. So later, with the correct purpose to be liberated from the samsara cycle of suffering, we try to develop 3 trainings: Sila, morality training, concentration training, and wisdom training. Through these 3 trainings, we will definitely realize or appreciate the qualities of the Buddha. Then the faith in the Buddha becomes stronger and stronger. And we become able to appreciate the qualities of the Buddha rather than just personal devotion. So to help you to appreciate the Buddha's qualities, Venerable Sayadaw started the discourse on the Buddha's qualities. So when we develop mindfulness, according to the Vipassana meditation, first we understand or we experience the qualities of Dhamma. So thus there arises the faith or confidence. And also we become enthusiastic and willing to experience the Dhamma qualities from our own experience. So in this way we become courageous enough to sacrifice sensual pleasures. Thus we call courageous effort or viriya. So we become ready to put great effort, heroic effort in the practice. So for sure you come far away from the foreign countries to practice, to make great effort in the practice. So that means you sacrifice, you are courageous to give up or sacrifice the sensual pleasure to some extent. So Venerable Sayadaw really feel responsible to fulfill your purpose, your sacrifices. So Sayadaw want to help you to experience Santi Sukha, that means the bliss of peacefulness. When you experience the bliss of peacefulness from Dhamma practice, you will be able to appreciate the qualities of the Buddha. It's not just personal devotion. It's just appreciation of the qualities of the Buddha. Then you will become enthusiastic or ready to put great effort in the practice. So according to the Buddha's teaching, or under the guidance of the late Venerable Mahasi Sayadaw, our Venerable Sayadaw, trying his best to help you understand or appreciate Buddha qualities from practical point of view and or theoretical point of view. So in this way, you will understand or appreciate Buddha's qualities so that you can become enthusiastic enough to put great effort in the practice. So we listen in to Dhamma talk. So the purpose is to be able to appreciate the ultimate peacefulness, because Santi Sukha. For this purpose, we trying to learn how to practice properly, correct method of practice. This is the purpose. For this purpose, we learn Dhamma, or we listen to the Dhamma talks. So we have to learn how to fulfill our morality training, and how to develop concentration, to fulfill concentration training, and how to develop insight, knowledge, and wisdom to meet the wisdom training. So this is the right path leading us straight to the ultimate peacefulness. So listening to Dhamma talks means learning the correct method, or learning how to practice, how properly to practice Dhamma. So ignorance of correct method must be removed by learning or listening to Dhamma talks. So Satipatthana meditation can help us to purify ourselves of mental defilements or mental hindrances which pull down our quality of life. So by practicing or developing the mindfulness, our minds become stronger and stronger enough to resist temptation. So with this purpose, we have to learn how to practice properly. We have to learn the correct method of practice. So learning Dhamma includes listening to the Dhamma talk, how to develop the mindfulness that can lead us, that can bring us the blissfulness or peacefulness. So it is very important to learn how to develop mindfulness or how to practice correctly. So listening Dhamma talk is one of the way of learning the correct method. So second way to learn correct method is discussion. So we have to discuss. If we have a question, we have to ask. We have to find the answer from the skilled teacher. So here in this center, we have the interview every day. During interview time, we can ask questions, or we can discuss what we want to know. And then if the yogi cannot practice properly, the teacher will give guidance, proper guidance, how to practice properly and correctly, how to develop the mindfulness, how to make faster progress in the practice. And also the reading the Dhamma books, the good Dhamma books is also kind of discussion. So you may read good Dhamma books. So in this way you can remove or overcome the ignorance of the correct method. So the purpose of learning the Dhamma is to experience ultimate peacefulness. To experience ultimate peacefulness, we have to learn Dhamma by listening to Dhamma talk or by discussion. By reading books are discouraged here, because here you have teachers who can give proper guidance. Reading books may be kind of obstacle to practical practice. That's why you are discouraged here to read books, from reading books. So this is the kind of preparation for intensive retreat. You have to make properly. Just by learning alone, without putting your knowledge into practice, you cannot accomplish anything. So you cannot understand what really happening to you. You cannot understand who you really are. It is very important to follow the instruction, and then you can experience, you can have very remarkable, very simple experience. It may be amazing, something amazing to experience. You can have panoramic view of yourself. Then you will become satisfied, and then you can have a glimpse of the ultimate peacefulness or bliss. Then you will become very satisfied with your practice. So it is very important to learn how to practice properly or correct method of practice. And then you have to put it into practice, or you have to put your learning into practice. So the whole body, which is composed of mind and body, the whole body is the solid object, meditative object. Among the phenomena involved in the body, the most obvious is rising, falling, or the abdomen. Is always obvious, is always available to observe. Among the phenomena that constitute our body, the physical phenomena is more obvious than the mind or mental phenomena. The physical phenomena, among the physical phenomena also, the four fundamental elements are more obvious than the dependent elements, dependent physical elements. So we give priority to four fundamental elements rather than the dependent physical element. Among the four fundamental elements, also the air element or wind element is most obvious, easiest to observe. So we are encouraged to observe the air element or wind element, which is involved in the rising, falling, or the abdomen. It is just like learning lesson in the school. when we learn lesson in the school, we normally we are recommended to start with the easier lessons, and then progressively we learn more and more deeper and deeper lessons. But initially, we should learn we should study with the easy lesson. So there is a Vipassana formula or Vipassana theory. Yatha Bhagatam Vipassana Bhiniveso. So whatever is obvious, whatever phenomena are obvious, the mind should be focused on that. That's the basic principle or theory of Vipassana practice. That's why we are instructed to start contemplation on the rising, falling, or the abdomen, where the air element or wind element is very obvious. So when we sit down, we should sit properly with the legs crossed, and keep our upper part of the body quite straight, not too rigid, but quite straight. And breathe in and out regularly and normally. And our mind must be focused on that object. It is just like to go in somewhere to meet somebody or our guest. For example, when we meet our guest somewhere, we have to go where the guests are supposed to come. We cannot go other places where the guests won't come. So in the same way, when we want to learn about the air element or wind element, we have to focus where the wind element is obvious. It is the rising, falling, or the abdomen, of course, where the wind element or air element is always obvious. When we breathe in, the abdomen rises gradually. We should follow it from the beginning to the end. We should follow all the way from the beginning to the end. So to follow the abdomen rising from the beginning to the end, we must active, alert. And we should not be lazy and thinking this and that. And we must active and alert so that we can follow the rising, falling, or the abdomen from the beginning to the end. And also we must make great effort to pay our attention, to direct our attention to the object. We have to aim at the suitable topic, suitable target, that is the rising, falling, or the abdomen. So right aiming is also one of the very important factors of the development of mindfulness. And then whatever is obvious, whatever phenomena is obvious in the rising, falling, or the abdomen, we have to be aware of them as they really are. To focus our mind on the abdomen, we may close our eyes. We should not see here and there. We should not look here and there. But we should not bend our head too much. We should follow the instruction given by the teacher. So if we are able to focus on the objects, meditative objects for long, there are so many things, so many phenomena for us to experience, for us to understand, to realize. This kind of understanding or realization is called abhiññaya. something to understand, the phenomena to understand, or we can appreciate their true nature, the Paññāya, and we can overcome or reduce the attachment to them. That's Paṇḍitā, and in this way we can experience what we should experience. So there are many phenomena arising and passing away moment by moment, which are all meditative objects for us to be aware of. So we should learn something. We should start our learning with something easy, so we can overcome ignorance of something real by understanding something real, by experiencing something real, something present. Actually, rising, falling, or the abdomen is just daily language. It's just conceptual language. It doesn't mean you supposed to experience or you supposed to see the form or shape of the abdomen, or the manner or movement of the abdomen. Actually, we are supposed to experience the real phenomena beyond the form and the shape of the abdomen. So there are physical phenomena, especially air element, always pervade in the rising, falling of the abdomen. When our concentration and mindfulness become strong enough, we will be able to see those phenomena beyond form and shape of the abdomen. So in this way we can overcome ignorance of the truth, ignorance of the something real, by experiencing the real phenomena which are arising and passing away every moment, moment by moment. So now we are all practicing, we are all working on this very path. So during the sitting meditation, the primary object is rising, falling of the abdomen. During the walking, the moving foot is the object for you to observe. So it is like learning in the school. When a child attends to school and he always starts his school, his learning with an easy lesson. Gradually he makes progress in his learning. In the beginning, he has to learn the alphabet like A, B, C. He has to learn how to pronounce ABC properly. And then later he has to learn how to spell the vocabulary and words. And CAD, cat, RAD, red. He has to learn spelling and pronunciation. And then he has learned the higher lesson like how to construct a correct sentence and a sentence structure. And then he learned how to read paragraph and story, something like this. So his lesson gradually increase, gradually improve. When his knowledge is developed, he don't need to pay attention. He don't need to be bothered about the spelling or sentence structure. He just read without paying attention, without bothering about the spelling and the sentence structure. He can appreciate the reading. So in the same way, in the beginning, for the beginner yogi, it is very important to name or label the objects. For example, rising, falling, rising, falling. So naming and labeling is very helpful for the precise awareness or accurate awareness. It is very supportive to the mindfulness and concentration as well. And also we have to make great effort in the practice so that we pay attention, we can pay attention to the object. And then there arises mindfulness followed by concentration. So in this way, the concentration takes place moment by moment, one object after another, by focusing one object after another. This kind of concentration is called moment-to-moment concentration. We call Khanika Samadhi, because we develop concentration by observing one object after another continuously. So in due course of time, this kind of moment-to-moment concentration gains momentum. It becomes strong enough to purify our mind of mental hindrances, like the sensual desire, or aversion, or hatred, or sloth and torpor, wandering thoughts, or skeptical doubts. So with a stronger concentration and mindfulness, even though moment-to-moment concentration can help us to keep our mind away from mental hindrances. With the less mental hindrances, the stronger, the clearer the mind becomes. So in this way, first we find the physical seclusion in the quiet place. So with the development of mindfulness and concentration, so we gain mental seclusion. Our mind is secluded away from mental hindrances. In this way we can overcome, we can get rid of the opposites or negative phenomena which hinder the development of the insight knowledge. So to overcome such impediments or mental hindrances, we have to make great effort to pay attention to the object or to aim at the meditative object. That we call vitakka, initial attention or application. And then we must make great effort to sustain our attention to the object. When our attention is focused on the object for long, then naturally there arises the rapture and happiness we call in Pali piti sukha. So in this way, jhana factors naturally take place out of our effort and right aiming and right effort. So that's why it is very important for us to become aware of whatever is obvious in our mind and body. These are the results we can enjoy from our great effort. So this is the ultimate peacefulness or happiness. By practicing correct method, we can experience this kind of blissful experience. And then we become more and more enthusiastic, more and more interested in the practice. And our energy becomes stronger and stronger, enough to make more effort in the practice. So regarding awareness of rising, falling, or the abdomen, we normally are normally taught to be aware of the rising, falling in the beginning and the middle and the end part of the rising, falling, or the abdomen. In this regard, there are people who confused the beginning and the middle and the end parts. Actually, we are not taught to recognize which is the beginning part, which is the middle or end part, or the rising or falling. What we really observe is the rising, falling as a whole. That means we have to follow the rising from the beginning to the end, or falling from the beginning to the end. That's we mean we experience the rising, falling, the beginning and middle and end. That means we experience rising, falling all the way from the beginning to the end. This beginning or middle or end, these are just concepts, not something to experience. What we really experience, what we're supposed to really experience is the real phenomena, something real, that really happening in the rising, falling, or the abdomen. It is like the tension or tightening or vibration, which are characteristics of the wind element. So these are something real for us to experience, not just conceptual movement or beginning or middle or end. So because of this confusion, some yogis they may report, or they said, "Oh, I experienced the beginning or the rising, or I missed the beginning or the rising, or the end of the rising," something like this. So we don't need to put emphasis on the moment or the beginning or the ending part. What we have to care about is whether we are able to follow the rising or falling movement all the way from the beginning to the end. That's the point. So we have to see, we have to observe, contemplate the abdomen as a whole, not purposely in detail. So for example, suppose we see someone pass by, and first of all we just take a glimpse of his or her face. So seeing or looking at his or her face, we realize who he is. But we don't pay attention to each and every part of the face, his or her face. We just look someone's face as a whole, not every organ of it in detail. So later we may spontaneously see, maybe spontaneously see clearly maybe his forehead or eyes or cheek or chin or whatever in the face. So but in the beginning we just look at someone's face in general or as a whole, not in detail. But without making effort or spontaneously, we may pay attention to the cheek or eyes or whatever. So in the same way, we just observe the rising, falling, or the abdomen as a whole. We don't need to make effort to see everything in detail, everything involved in detail. So by seeing or watching the abdomen as a whole, we spontaneously experience or spontaneously see the phenomena were really involved in the rising falling process, like tension or tightness and so on. So when we observe rising falling, just observe rising falling as a whole, without bothering learning in detail. So when we observe the rising falling of the abdomen, there are two very important factors. It is right aiming and right effort. We have to make great effort to aim at the meditative object. And for that we need to have great energy. Making great effort, we can overcome the metta, that means laziness and inactiveness. This is the kind of impediment, immediate impediment or near impediment, or near hindrance to the practice. To overcome this laziness, the nearest impediment or hindrance, the virya, the great effort, is a very important factor. To overcome laziness or drowsiness, we should put some more effort in the practice, so that the mind becomes alert and active. And then another factor is right aiming. We have to pay our attention to the meditative object with the right aiming. So without right aiming, so mind is very lazy and too relaxing to pay attention to the object. So this right aiming we call vitakka is to make the mind open and alert and fresh. It is the direct opposite of the laziness or sloth and torpor. So that's why these two mental factors, right aiming and right effort, are very important. They play a very important role in this Vipassana practice. So shall we continue these topics tomorrow? That's all for today. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.